Nestled between rolling hills lay a valley bathed in sunshine. A small village thrived there. Laughter echoed through the air. This was Mira's home. Mira was known for her kind heart. Her smile could brighten even the gloomiest day. She helped everyone. Villagers loved her. The forest was her sanctuary. Amidst towering trees and chirping birds, Mira found peace. She would sit for hours sketching the beauty around her. One day, while sketching, she saw it. A stone, half buried, glowing faintly. It pulsed with an otherworldly light. Curious, Mira bent down to touch it. The stone was cold. It hummed with energy. Strange symbols were etched on its surface. They seemed familiar, yet distant. As Mira traced the symbols, a jolt ran up her arm. Her head throbbed. A rush of images flooded her mind, visions of a life she never lived, yet somehow remembered. A woman with flowing silver hair and eyes like emeralds. A forest, ancient and powerful, a promise made to protect a hidden relic. Then, darkness. Mira gasped. She stumbled back, clutching her head. What were those images? Who was that woman, and what was this relic she was supposed to protect? The stone stopped glowing. It lay inert in her hand, cold and lifeless, but the images lingered in Mira's mind, a haunting echo of a forgotten past. Days turned into weeks. The strange visions haunted Mira. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was meant for something more, something bigger than herself. One evening, Mira confided in her best friend Alex. They sat by the river, the setting sun painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Alex listened patiently. He was a kind soul, always ready to lend an ear. But when Mira finished her story, a strange look crossed his face. A flicker of something unreadable in his eyes. He dismissed her story as an overactive imagination. But Mira couldn't shake the feeling that he was hiding something. Something important. Despite Alex's reassurances, Mira couldn't ignore the truth. The visions were getting stronger. The forest seemed to whisper to her, urging her to remember. She returned to the spot where she found the stone. It lay undisturbed, bathed in the soft sunlight filtering through the leaves. As she touched the stone, the visions returned, stronger than before. The woman with silver hair, the ancient forest, the relic. And this time she saw herself. She was the woman with silver hair, the guardian of the forest. She had sacrificed her memories to protect the relic from those who sought to exploit its power. Mira gasped. The weight of her forgotten past pressed down on her. She was the guardian, and the relic was in danger. The realization hit Mira like a bolt of lightning. She was no ordinary girl. She was the protector of the forest, entrusted with a sacred duty. But who was she protecting the relic from? The question lingered in her mind, a growing unease settling in her heart. That evening she noticed Alex acting strangely. He was withdrawn, his eyes filled with a distant look. When she tried to talk to him, he brushed her off. Later, she overheard him talking in hushed tones to a stranger dressed in dark robes. She couldn't make out the words, but the stranger's aura sent shivers down her spine. A terrible suspicion began to form in Mira's mind. Could Alex be involved? Could he be the one threatening the relic? Mira's heart pounded in her chest. She couldn't believe it. Alex, her best friend, the one person she trusted completely, couldn't be involved. Could he? She decided to confront him. That night she found him by the river, the same spot where she had confided in him. "Alex, what's going on? Who was that stranger you were talking to?" Mira's voice trembled with a mix of anger and betrayal. Alex's shoulders slumped. He looked at her, his eyes filled with a strange mixture of guilt and desperation. "Mira, I can't tell you. It's too dangerous." "Dangerous? What are you talking about?" Mira pressed, her heart sinking as she saw the truth dawn on his face. "The relic, Mira. I need it, and you're going to help me get it." Betrayal cut through Mira like a knife. Alex, her closest friend, was the one she was meant to protect the relic from. The weight of her duty pressed down on her, heavier than ever. "Alex, you don't understand. The relic is dangerous. It can't fall into the wrong hands," Mira pleaded, hoping to reason with him. "I know what I'm doing, Mira." "This is for the greater good," Alex insisted, his voice hardening. "Just tell me where the relic is." Mira's heart ached. She had to protect the relic, even if it meant going against her best friend. She had made a promise lifetimes ago, and she would not break it. "No, Alex, I won't let you take it. I will protect this forest, even if it means stopping you." Her voice, though filled with sadness, held the resolute strength of the ancient guardian she was. The forest held its breath. The air crackled with tension. Mira faced Alex, her heart torn between loyalty and duty. Tears streamed down her face, but her resolve was firm. She wouldn't fight him, she couldn't bring herself to hurt him, but she wouldn't let him take the relic. The forest depended on her. "Please, Alex, don't make me do this," Mira whispered, her voice breaking with the pain of his betrayal. Alex hesitated, his face etched with conflict. He cared for Mira. She could see it in his eyes, but the lure of the relic, the power it promised, was too strong. He lunged. Mira closed her eyes, bracing for the impact that never came. She opened her eyes to see Alex lying on the ground, entangled in thick vines. The forest, it seemed, had made its choice. Tears streamed down Mira's face. She couldn't save her friend from his desires, but she could protect him from the consequences. Gently, she freed Alex from the vines. He looked at her, his eyes filled with shame and regret. "I'm sorry, Mira, I let greed cloud my judgment." Mira placed a hand on his shoulder, her heart aching. "It's all right, Alex, we all make mistakes." The road ahead would be long and hard. Mira had a duty to the forest, and a friend to save from himself, but as she stood there, the ancient trees whispering around her, she knew she wouldn't be alone. The forest was with her, and deep down she hoped one day Alex would be too.